Welcome to episode 5 of Space Wars. Let's get into it. So, in last episode, we focused on this planet called the Moon. Yeah. And now we're going to be focusing on the next planet that we have currently discovered Mars. Let's start. And let's start with America because America is going to be expanding. America is mad about Russia, expanding so much around them. And they're kind of encircling them, kinda ish. Yeah, yeah. And America wants to make an alliance with the Russians, but then the Russians are threatening to blow them up with nukes. And not sure how you're gonna get nukes all the way over into Mars, but the Americans don't like that, but they don't care. They're going to expand. So what they're going to do is they're going to expand around this crater and attempt to take the entire South Pole, no, the South Pole of Mars before, well, the Russians can reach it. Yeah, but they are too late, as the Russians reach the South Pole of Mars, and now they go ahead and take the entirety of, or a huge chunk of the South Pole. And because of how these maps work, it looks like the entire bottom of the map is colonized, but in reality, it's just one tiny thing. I'll fix that later. Yeah, like if we look at the moon map over here, if I can get it there, China owns a huge part of the top of yeah. And Russia is going to continue their expansions. Wait, do I have the layer on? Oh yeah, the thing is up here. Yeah. Russia is going to continue their expansions in their ginormous colony here, and will be expanding it greatly as it expands a lot into the moon. And, India is going to be mad at Russia for everything they've done. Mainly about this whole moon issue thing here. Yeah. When we go back to the moon, India declares war on Russia. And Russia was not preparing this, as this is towards the Russian capital area. And, yeah, the map has changed, and, well, the Indians have a very advanced technology, and they're able to take the Russian capital. And then they lose this northern Russian area, and they surrender. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty. And Russia will be forced to move the capital of the Martian colony in space, and they will move it right here. And then, despite what happened with India a while ago with the American colony here, America is going to sign an alliance with India against Russia. If you don't remember, like 2 episodes ago, India was attacked by the Americans because of their Martian colony. Yeah. And now, well, we have this. And now it's time for another country to land on Mars. And that country is going to be Germany. And, wait, yeah, they're here. The German rocket is going to land right here. And Germany on the moon, Mars, is going to be on their own side. They expand as quickly as they possibly can in order to stop the Russians from taking over the entire planet. And the Russians will be expanding in response to the Germans' expansions, and they will be surrounding them, as they are going to, encase the Germanics. And the Germanics and the Russians kind of have a race on Mars in order to take over the entirety of the Red Planet. Yeah. And eventually, well, the entire Red Planet, or at least this area, is taken over by Germany and Russia, as Germany is completely surrounded by the Russians. That isn't very good, I would say. But another thing that's going to happen is the Russians will continue their giant expansions over here, and will continue trying to surround the American colonies. But the Americans will be able to surround this Russian colony, and Russia isn't supporting this, so, this kind of goes over to Russia. Yeah. Russia is mad. And, as the war world spins and Russia makes an alliance with Germany on the moon? Yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't expect that. If the Moon Alliance map and no Mars Alliance map and if I could get it, the Moon Alliance as the Germans are on the American side and the Russians on a completely different side. Yeah, totally not weird. And while India is going to continue the expansions of the giant colony, and they are becoming like extremely rich from this. They have all of the money they can possibly need. But the only thing is, the color kind of blends in with the planet, as the entire thing is red. If you can even see anything, India is currently going throughout the entirety of the North Pole of Mars. Yeah, and well, they colonize the entire thing, as India is becoming the main colonizer of the red planet, or more of an orange planet thing. Yeah, as India will be expanding greatly throughout the entire planet, and this giant northern area that's filled with mountains is almost completely encircled by the Indians, as they're able to take over all of this area. Yeah, and there's not really too much room on this planet anymore. So, time to talk about something else, something we haven't had yet. Russia is going to be getting punished for their expansion. And, if you're wondering what this gray color is, we have a Martian rebellion. As humans on Mars, these humans believe they are able, have the ability to survive on Mars on their own. And well, they kind of do with Russian technologies, but the Germanics will be sending help to them and will even be declaring war on Russia in order to get out of the trap that they call, well, Russia. And when I get the color, the Germans will be invading Russia, as Russia has been, not doing well in this episode, as the Americans will also be crushing back the Russians with helps of the Germanics. The Russians will be attempting to take out Germany as quickly as possible, as they do have maybe some experience. They have some, experience from invading Germany. And, by the way, this city on Mars is not called Berlin 2. Yeah. But it will be taken. Until the rebellion is able to push back them and, the Germanics will be retaking the capital, and this is what the map looks like. And then the Russians will be losing their capital, and this just causes the surrender for the Russians. Let's look at a peace treaty. And this is the peace treaty, and as you can see, Russia's color isn't on the map, and that means Russia is kicked off of Mars. First time that's happened where a country is kicked off of the planet. And if you're wondering what this green thing is, don't worry, it's not aliens. It's just a human country on Mars. I never thought I would say that sentence. But that's probably going to happen a lot in this series, as I've never done anything like this before. Yeah. And this weird new thing here called Martian Land, the green goop land, the green country. Yeah. Will be expanding. And will be expanding into territories, and their country will look like this. That is going to do it for today's... Wait. What? But the thing is, these alliances are kind of cursed, and Germany never actually liked Russia, so this thing was pointless. And this alliance will still exist. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Space Wars. See you in the next episode, and bye! Bye now. I like the videos to be 10 minutes long, and that's just bye.